What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Supreme Tech. Today we're going to be breaking down the Canon M50 and we're going to be going over some of the pros and cons, and ultimately we're going to be figuring out if this is something that you should buy. If you're in the market for a camera, if you're doing YouTube, if you're doing still photography, anything in between, we're going to be breaking this down and seeing if this is a camera for you. So if you're interested in that, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. Also, be sure to subscribe if you like the content and turn on them post notifications so they're notified whenever I come out with brand new videos. Also, guys, leave comments down below if you have any questions or have anything that you want to bring up about any of my videos. Just leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to them eventually. And without any further ado, let's get right into reviewing the Canon M50 and let's start the video. Alright guys, so first thing we're going to do is I'm going to break down some of the specs of the camera. After that, I'm going to go through and show you a couple of pictures and a couple of test videos to show you what this camera actually can do. Usually I record my YouTube videos on this exact camera, but I'm using my iPhone right now because obviously I can't record and show you the camera at the same time. So let's go over the specs and then we'll go over a little bit more of a review of the actual camera itself. So first thing, this camera's got 24.1 megapixels, right? It's a lot of megapixels, especially for the price of the camera. The price is going to be range from, I'd say, just for the body you can find for around $500 to $600. If you get the body along with the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens, that's going to run you about $650 to $750 maybe, depending on where you get it. Myself, I actually got a really good deal on this camera. I got the camera, the body, the kit lens. What else did I get? I got all this ND filter. I got aperture light, ND filter, microphone, okay, a Rode camera mic, and I got a bunch of SD cards and other little accessories along with the case and this strap, right? I got all that for $450. So that just goes to show, if you keep looking on the internet, you might be able to find a really good deal for one of these. So check it out if you can. Otherwise, plan on spending about $650. And they got other deals with stuff that come with this and a microphone and stuff like that for about $800-900. And it comes SD cards and other stuff. So it all depends on how much money you got to work with, but that's about the price. Now moving on to the sensor, it's got a really good sensor. It's got a CMOS APS-C sensor, the 24.1 megapixels. And the really good thing about this is the ISO goes all the way up to 25,600 or 51,200 expandable. So that's great. It's really good ISO. But I noticed when I'm in low light, it's not as good as it seems, but it's definitely better than a lot of different cameras, especially in the price range. So you got to remember that when you're shopping. Other than that, you can shoot in HD 24, 30, or 60. You can shoot 120 FPS, but that's going to be in 720p. You can also shoot in 4K at 24 frames per second, but a big caveat to that is you're going to miss out on the autofocus. So you're going to lose that autofocus. It's not going to work, it's really irritating because the 4K is pretty much useless. You might be able to catch some stuff in 4K, but most of the time you're not going to want to use it. The 1080p is great though. That's really all you need for most people, especially if you're just doing YouTube videos or like online stuff, like Instagram videos you want to do with it, or Twitter, whatever. You got a lot of stuff you can do with this camera. This also has OLED EVF. And if you don't know the difference between a EVF or an optical viewfinder, it's electric viewfinder or optical viewfinder, I'm going to be making a video on that soon. So be sure to check back on the channel for that one. But it's awesome. It's got electronic viewfinder. It's great. After that, you also got touch and drag autofocus. So you can go in and touch and drag it. And it's also got eye focus too. That's another thing. But one of the amazing things about this camera that everyone loves, especially vloggers and stuff like that, is going to be this here. You got a fully articulating screen. It goes all the way around, comes all the way back. You can also turn the screen to face on the inside and close it so that nothing can happen to your screen when you put it in your bag or something, which is great. You can turn it like this, put the camera low, and you're looking right directly at your screen. It's awesome. Or you can just leave it in the back. Moving on, this is a mirrorless camera. If you don't know the difference between a mirrorless and a DSLR, basically it is exactly what it says. It's a mirrorless. It doesn't have the mirror in there. On a DSLR, or you catch light in the lens, it hits a mirror, and then it hits the sensor. On a mirrorless, it just hits directly on the sensor. As you can see, I'm going to take the lens off. You got your sensor right there, right in the middle. On a DSLR, you wouldn't see that, okay? When you're using a mirrorless camera, it's going to have different lenses. So this is going to be an EFM lens. You can also use a regular EF lens if you get an adapter, and it's called, some people call it a speed booster, but there's adapters you get. It's EF to EFM or EFM to EF mount adapters. You can get them for the name brand ones about $200. For the off brand, you can get them for $40 or $60. But that basically lets you use these lenses on your mirrorless cameras. Because RF lenses are the most common lenses that you're going to see, right? Or EF. Moving on from that, it's also got the Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth compatibility. So that's great. Most newer cameras got all that. I don't see a new camera coming out that's not going to have that from now on, right? So there's always going to have that. Also, I forgot to mention about the screen. This is a touch screen, so you can use it on a touch screen, and it comes in handy. You can also use it to take the picture. You can touch the screen. I don't usually use that, but sometimes your camera shakes if you're trying to press the button and you just want to press lightly on the screen and take the picture. That works out really good for some people. Also with this, if you download the Canon app, you can have access from your pictures directly to your phone. So right when you take them, you can have access to them on your phone. Probably one of the best things about this camera is the processor. This has a brand new Digic 8 processor. Right, I'm shooting this video in 2020, late 2020. As of right now, that's the best processor out. Okay, I'm going to double check that after I make this video, but I'm pretty sure that's the best processor that you can get. Last but not least, this camera does have a silent mode, so if you don't want to hear the shutter, you don't want to hear anything, it does have a silent mode. Say you're at a wedding or something and you're taking pictures. Usually I wouldn't recommend this for a wedding, but say you are, you can go silent and that you're not going to have to worry about anything making noise. Okay, now that we got that, the specs out of the way, let's just go through and show you a couple things about the camera. You can see here at the top, if you can't see that, I'll put a picture in editing. You got manual, aperture priority, shutter priority, program mode, you got full auto, you got a scan mode, creative filters, and what I love most about this turn dial is you got your video and your pictures, or video and manual mode, are right next to each other. So it's just one click away. Say you're taking pictures, you want to switch the video real quick, it's just one click down. And that really comes in handy a lot of times. So you might not notice it, but it does sometimes. Other than that, you got your turn dial up here with the shutter. You got your record button at the top. You got your MF button. Then on the side or on the back, you got info, menu, and replay button at the bottom where you can look through your pictures. And then you just got the regular old autofocus, manual focus, flash, garbage can, and exposure button. This camera doesn't really have a lot of buttons compared to other cameras, but you can map certain ones to do what you want them to do. That's what I've done. It works out pretty good. Another thing about this camera, you can pull up the flash if you want. It's got little ridges on the side where you can pull it up. Some cameras you have to click the flash button to pop it open. I like this one, you can just put it up or down. But like I said, with the shoe, if you got, say, this light on here, we got a light, a little aperture light. I'm going to put a link in the description for the aperture light, the Rode mic, and a couple other things along with for the M50 itself. But once you get your light or whatever on there, you can see you can't bring your flash up. It's going to block it. So just know that. It's say you got a microphone, but you need flash with it. It's like, say we got a Rode mic. You want your mic, but you're going to need flash. You can't put it on the shoe. You're going to have to put your mic somewhere else, maybe on a boom or something like that. But you're definitely going to want to make sure you have room to flip your flash up. Also, on the side here, you got your HDMI in. And on the other side, you got your microphone input. Now, this does affect the touchscreen a little bit when you're moving it. Say we got it like this. But what I recommend is just close your little mic thing, flip your screen to however you're going to need it, and then plug your input in, and you'll be able to move it. Let me think if I can think of anything else with the M50. The size itself is really small. So this is a compact camera. If you're going to go traveling or anything, this is a great camera to bring with you. As you can see here, look how thin this camera is. It's really small. And as opposed to a DSLR, this right here is a DSLR. This is a Rebel T6. I also got a video on this, so if you want to check that out, look on the channel, or I'll put something in the cue card now. But as you can see, this doesn't even have a lens on it, and it is way bigger than this camera. It's way fatter, but that's what DSLRs, some people like that heavy camera. This camera itself is kind of light because it's all plastic, but some people like that big camera. They think it's more quality. Myself, it really don't matter as long as the picture and the video quality is great. And that's what you're getting with the M50. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys are thinking this is a good camera. If you've ever used it before, say someone else had it and you used it, let me know below. Overall, I recommend this camera to almost anybody, unless you have a better camera. So basically, if you got $600, $700 to go out and buy a camera, this is going to be all you need. You're going to be able to make every video you want to make. You're not going to be able to do too much in 4K, but not a lot of people even do 4K. It's still a 1080 world. Like, everything is pretty much 1080. You can have microphone input, you can have your flip screen, and you have your autofocus. Those are probably the three main things that people look for when they're looking for like a YouTube or vlogging camera, or even someone that's just taking home videos and stuff. This is going to work great for you. Other than that, guys, comment down below if I miss anything on the Canon M50. I think it's an awesome camera. I can't stress it enough. I would be recording this video on it, but I'm obviously have to use my iPhone because I'm showing you the camera. So, like I said, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if I forgot anything. Also, be sure to check back on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.